It's election day. Are you ready? Be sure you know the location of your polling place and how to get there. Remember, you are only allowed to vote at the polling place that your address has been assigned to. If you have pre-registered, you should have received a postcard telling you where your polling place is. If you're not sure where to go, you can use the Minnesota Votes website to find your polling place. If you haven't pre-registered, you can register to vote at your assigned polling place on Election Day. The polling places open early on Election Day morning, usually 7 a.m. They stay open until 8 p.m. so that people can vote when it's convenient for them. Your employer is required to let you take time off to vote, and you can't be penalized for voting. If you're already in line when the polling place closes, you can still vote, even if the line extends all the way around the building. However, if you arrive in line after 8 p.m., you won't be allowed to vote. Minnesota law requires all polling places to be fully accessible. If a polling place is on an upper level of the building, there must be an elevator or accessible entrance. Poll volunteers are on hand to answer questions and assist voters. Each polling place also must provide a private voting area that is accessible to people who use wheelchairs or who need to sit down while marking their ballots. The first thing you will do when you get to your polling place on Election Day is to check in with an election judge. He or she will check the list of people who are registered to vote in that polling place. If you have pre-registered, all that you will need to do is sign your name next to your printed name on the list of registered voters. If you aren't able to sign your name, an election judge can assist you. If you have moved to another address or have changed your name since the last time that you voted, you will need to update your registration information by completing a new voter registration application. Be sure to bring proof of your residence. If you go to the wrong polling place, the election judge can help direct you to the right place. A lot of rules have been put in place to make sure that Minnesota's elections are honest and fair. It's up to the election judges to know and enforce these rules. The Minnesota Voters' Bill of Rights protects your right to an open, fair election process. A copy of this Bill of Rights is available at all polling places. Take a few minutes to read through it. You can talk to the head election judge if you think there's a problem at the polling place. You also can file a written complaint. If you have any questions or concerns, an election judge will be able to help you. Every eligible voter has the right to vote on Election Day. However, a person's eligibility to vote can be challenged. This is an important part of keeping our elections honest and fair. A citizen's right to vote can only be legally challenged by someone who has specific knowledge that another person is not eligible to vote because he or she doesn't meet the eligibility requirements. A person's right to vote can't be challenged because of their race, language, the way they dress, the way they look, or because of a disability. If someone legally challenges your right to vote and you are eligible, tell an election judge. He or she will put you under oath and ask you if you are eligible to vote. If you truthfully answer yes, you must be allowed to vote. It's your right under the Constitution of the United States. If you haven't registered or need to update your registration, you can still vote on Election Day. An election judge will help you complete a Minnesota voter registration form at the poll. You'll also need to provide proof of residence. The most common form used is a Minnesota driver's license or state ID card with your current name and address. If your photo ID doesn't include your current name and an address in the precinct, you can show the election judge both a photo ID and a utility bill that shows your current address. Election judges can only accept a utility bill that contains your current name and address in the precinct. It also must be due within 30 days of Election Day. The bill can be for telephone services, including a landline or cell phone, cable or satellite television services, internet services, electric, gas, water, or sewer services, or solid waste disposal. A rent statement that is dated within 30 days and shows itemized utility expenses is also acceptable. If you're a student living in campus housing and the college or university you attend has sent a list of student housing to the poll, you can register by showing a valid student ID card that includes your photo and a signature. If you're a student who doesn't live in campus housing, your student ID and a current student fee statement with your current address will work. If you don't have any of these forms of identification, you can ask another registered voter who knows you and lives in the same precinct to vouch for you. This person will be required to confirm that you live in the precinct by signing an oath. If you live in a residential facility, an employee of the facility can swear that you live there. Many people who live in assisted living facilities, nursing homes, and group homes also sometimes find that it's easier to vote by absentee ballot. An administrator of the facility can give you more information about this process. Once you're registered, the election judge will give you an official paper ballot and a cardboard folder to hold your completed ballot. He or she also will tell you where to wait until it is your turn to vote. Election judges are there to help you mark your ballot if you need it. All you have to do is ask. You can ask to have the ballot read to you if you're unable to read English. If you are deaf and communicate in American Sign Language, you can arrange to have someone read the ballot to you. This person is allowed to accompany you into the voting booth. You also can have someone you know help you mark your ballot. This can be a family member, friend, or service provider. However, your employer, someone from your union, or a candidate cannot assist you. Just let the election judge know that you have asked the person for help. This person is allowed to accompany you into the voting booth. They cannot influence your decision, but they can mark your choices on the ballot for you. When it's your turn to vote, the election judge will direct you to an open voting booth that meets your needs. You can bring your sample ballot along with you if you want to remember your choices. However, a sample ballot is not the same as an official ballot. You will need to fill in your choices on the official ballot that the election judge gave you. If you have a small child or children with you, they can accompany you into the voting booth. This is a good chance to demonstrate to them that voting is important and show them how the process works. The voting booth has partitions for privacy and a pen that you can use to complete your ballot. Always read the instructions and fill in your ballot carefully so that your choices are clear. Be sure to completely fill in the circle next to the name of the candidate you're voting for. If the machine can't read your choices, they may not be counted. If you make a mistake, ask the election judge for a new ballot. Remember to mark your ballot clearly with no scribbles or notes, and vote for only one candidate per race, unless the ballot asks you to choose more than one. Every polling place has an auto mark machine that can mark your ballot for you electronically. It is especially helpful for voters who are blind or have a physical disability that makes it difficult to mark their choices on a ballot. However, any voter can use the AutoMark machine to mark a ballot. An election judge will show you how to use it and answer any questions you have. The AutoMark machines allow every voter the chance to vote in private without assistance. The AutoMark allows voters to enlarge the size of the text on the ballot so that it's easier to see, display text in a high contrast format, and listen to an audio version of the ballot using headphones. You also can use a touch screen or a Braille keypad to enter your choices. Once you have entered your votes, the AutoMark device will print out a completed ballot that includes all of your choices. However, the AutoMark does not count votes. If you use the AutoMark device, you still need to insert your completed ballot into the ballot counting machine. Once your ballot has been cast and counted, your vote is final. You can't change it after that, so be sure to take a minute to review your choices one last time before you put your ballot into the counting machine. If you find a mistake or change your mind, you can give your ballot to the election judge and ask for a new one. When you're satisfied, tuck your completed ballot inside the cardboard folder and slide the ballot into the counting machine. If your polling place doesn't have a ballot counting machine, give it to an election judge. The election judge can help you if you need it. The machine automatically grabs the ballot for counting. The equipment will detect ballot marking errors, so you can fix them before you leave the poll. An election judge will be standing by in case you need help, and to give you an "I voted" sticker. Wear it proudly and encourage others to vote. So that's it. You voted. Your choices, along with the votes of thousands of other Minnesotans, will elect the next leaders for your local area, the state, even the United States. For more information, go to www.mnvotes.org.